Hi, I am Dr. Toufic Kachaamy, Chief of Medicine and Director of Gastroenterology at City of Hope, Phoenix, Arizona. I want to thank you for watching this commentary video about our recently published article titled A Prospective Multicenter Study to Evaluate the Impact of Cryotherapy on Dysphagia and Quality of Life in Patients with Inoperable Esophageal Cancer. I would like to start by thanking my collaborators, especially the co-PIs, Dr. Neil Sharma from Parkview Cancer Institute, Indiana, Dr. Tilak Shah from Cleveland Clinic, Florida, and previously Central Virginia VA Healthcare System in Richmond, Virginia, Dr. Raul Panala from Mayo Clinic, Arizona, and Dr. Pankaj Vashi from City of Hope, Chicago, and the rest of the team that supported this research and made it possible. They are all listed on your manuscript, and without them this work could not be done. Dysphagia palliation in inoperable esophageal cancer continues to be a challenge. Self-expandable metal stents have been the mainstay of endoscopic palliation, but have significant risk of adverse events such as chest pain, migration, bleeding, and reflux when the stent is placed at the GE junction, and this prevents patients from lying flat. These adverse events result in inconsistent impact of stenting on the quality of life of patients. Liquid nitrogen spray cryotherapy is an established modality that can be used with systemic therapy to help with dysphagia palliation. The impact of adding this modality on the quality of life in patients with esophageal cancer is not established. In addition, with regards to cryotherapy, there is very little data to guide the endoscopist on the timing and frequency of the procedure to optimize outcomes. The current management of dysphagia is often center-dependent, based on local expertise and practices. We set out to study the impact of liquid nitrogen spray cryotherapy on quality of life in a pragmatic study that left the details of treatment up to the endoscopist. In addition to studying the impact on dysphagia and quality of life, we assessed adverse events and the presence of reflux. Our pragmatic approach allowed us to compare different approaches to treatment. In terms of results, there were 55 patients with inoperable esophageal cancer planning to have systemic therapy. They underwent 175 palliative cryotherapy procedures from September 2017 to January 2022 at 5 hospitals in the United States. Our results showed that after a mean of 3.2 treatment sessions, quality of life as measured by a modified EOR-TC18 improved from a score of 34.9 to 29. Dysphagia improved from 1.8 to 1.2 on a 5-point scale. Patients who received intensive therapy, defined as at least 2 procedures in a period of 3 weeks, has significantly more improvement in dysphagia, 1.2 versus 0.2 points. With regards to safety, of the 175 procedures, 2 patients required a short admission because of abdominal distension after the procedure. Otherwise, there were no procedure-related severe adverse events. Around 86% of patients reporting being able to lie flat without reflux symptoms. The importance of this study lies in the fact that it is the first prospective multicenter study showing that liquid nitrogen spray cryotherapy added to systemic therapy in patients with esophageal cancer is associated with improvement in dysphagia and quality of life and not associated with reflux symptoms. The risk of adverse events was very low. While this was not a study designed to compare cryo to stenting, both a higher adverse event rate, including reflux, have been reported with stenting. Another important finding in this study is that it suggests that intensive cryo should become the preferred option, as it was associated with the largest improvement in dysphagia. This starts to shed light on best practices for this therapy. In addition, there was a trend toward better outcomes when cryo was performed within 1 to 2 days of chemotherapy, suggesting a synergistic effect although this was not statistically significant. Median survival in our patients was 16.4 months, which is longer than expected from standard of care. We believe the next steps for cryo research would be a randomized controlled trial studying the impact of cryotherapy on survival and the impact of cryotherapy on the tumor microenvironment. In conclusion, evidence is presented about the benefit of liquid nitrogen spray cryotherapy as an adjunct to systemic therapy in patients with esophageal cancer, with guidance on best practices based on the current evidence. Thank you very much for listening.